Mike Flynn was public enemy number one from the start. That's why this case is called Spygate and not Trumpgate. So Lee Smith, I teased this article yesterday, who's a terrific writer, has a great book about the whole Spygate fiasco. Lee Smith wrote a lengthy piece in Tablet Mag that is so worth your time. I have two. If you're interested this weekend in grabbing a cup of joe and spending 20 minutes in a really good piece, there's two of them. This one here by Lee Smith, How Russiagate Began with Obama's Iran Deal Domestic Spying Campaign. And there's one more I have in the show notes by Eli Lake, who, again, I don't share everything in common with politically, but did an amazing piece. It's in my show notes in Commentary Magazine on the Flynn fiasco. I can assure you, you read these two pieces, the one on your screen, the Lee Smith piece and the Eli Lake piece, both in the show notes, you will be 100% informed on the Flynn case. They leave nothing out, and they're both devastating. Why is this particular piece, though, so critical? Folks, if you're a regular listener of my show, and you have been for the last couple of years, I told you in, I think episode 629, I'm sure audience archivist Judy will pick it out for us. It is in the 600s. We're now on episode 1257. I was living in a different house. That Mike Flynn, the case is called Spygate, not Trumpgate, because the Obama administration had been spying on their political opponents for a long time. Trump was a casualty, not the cause of this operation. And public enemy number one for Barack Obama was always Mike Flynn. Mike Flynn did a lot of things as an intelligence professional in the Obama administration. He was head of the DIA that really bothered Barack Obama. Lee Smith's piece encompasses basically all of them, and he writes just so wonderfully about it. Let me go to two takeaways. Remember what the headline is. Forget Lee's headline. It's a good one, but Dan Bongino headline. Why the heck did Barack Obama hate Mike Flynn so much? To spy on him repeatedly and frame him using his weaponized law enforcement apparatchiks. Let's go to takeaway number one. I'm going to read this paragraph because it's just so critical. Lee Smith tablet. Quote, influential senior officers like Generals David Petraeus and Stanley McChrystal credited Mike Flynn for collecting the intelligence that helped defeat al-Qaeda in Iraq in 2007. In 2012, he was named DIA chief. The next year, Flynn secured access for a team, pay attention here, Flynn secured access for a team of DIA analysts to scour through the documents that had been captured during the 2011 operation to kill Osama bin Laden. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now let's establish a couple facts for the liberals that have a tough time with this here. Facts, things that require an IQ above double digits. Obama's team, it's a fact. Obama was the president. They ordered the killing of bin Laden. That's just a indisputable fact. How it got there, the politics of it, we're just doing facts. After the raid and the killing of bin Laden, a treasure trove of documents were found. In those documents was some rather disturbing material. Some rather disturbing material that Mike Flynn found extra disturbing. So as DIA chief, he ordered the Defense Intelligence Agency there to go through those documents, and he tasked a team with doing it. Why would Obama be angry about that? It was the result of a raid he ordered. Joe, fair question, right? If it's a treasure trove, what's Obama's problem? Obama should be out celebrating this. We got bin Laden. I'm the commander-in-chief. Not only we get bin Laden, we got a treasure trove of valuable intel to prevent future attacks. This is great. But it wasn't great. Obama didn't like that. He didn't want anybody probing through those documents. Why? Oh, this gets good. Back to Lee Smith's piece. Quote, the bin Laden database was unorganized, said a former senior DIA official. There'd been very little work on it. Really? There'd been very little work on it since it was first captured. The CIA had done machine word searches to identify immediate threats, but they didn't study it for future trends or any strategic insight. Flynn, General Flynn, arranged for a team from U.S. Central Command based in Tampa, Florida, to come up to Washington. The subject of their investigation was a potentially sensitive one. We were looking for ties between al-Qaeda and Iran. Oh, you were, says Michael Pregen, a former Army intel officer who was working on the bin Laden documents as a contractor. Quote, we're arguing with everyone, NSA, whoever else, telling them what we wanted, and they kept saying, there's nothing there. We already went through it. The CIA and others were looking for immediate threats. Well, we said we're DIA. We're all source analysts, and we want everything to get a full picture. This is everything. General Michael Flynn, American patriot and hero, was an opponent of this Iran deal from the start, which was going to be Obama's signature foreign policy achievement to reorganize the Middle East and the locus of power away from Israel and Saudi Arabia and back to Shia Iran. That was Obama's goal. You can argue about his motives all day. That's not the subject of this direct inquiry here. We're doing the facts. Obama wanted the Iran deal. He wanted to reorder the Middle East. He wanted to move the locus of power away from Israel and Saudi Arabia. Again, argue about his motives all day. Flynn knew this was potentially extremely dangerous for the national security of the United States to engage in any kind of a relationship with a regime whose motto is death to America. He opposes the Iran deal. Obama orders the hit on bin Laden. We hit bin Laden. We get these documents. Apparently, from what I'm hearing, in these documents are some extremely suspicious ties between al-Qaeda and Iran. A connection, if exposed to Mike Flynn's DIA team, that would have done what? Would have absolutely decimated any hope that the Iran deal was going to come to fruition, because then the terrorists that they really are would have been fully exposed by a connection to al-Qaeda that the Obama administration couldn't explain away. Mike Flynn was asking questions. Mike Flynn was seeking answers nobody wanted the answer to in the Obama administration. Nobody. So they fired him. And then when Mike Flynn came out and all of a sudden became a supporter of Donald Trump out on the campaign trail, and there was some talk he could be a VP candidate. Remember that talk?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Mike Flynn became an existential threat to Barack Obama's signature foreign policy achievement, the dreadful Iran deal. Mike Flynn was public enemy number one from the start. That's why this case is called Spygate and not Trumpgate.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.